What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of January 28th. I'm your host, Zach, and this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Folks, if you're watching this show on podcast services, first off, please rate and review us. It helps out a lot. But secondly, I encourage you to check this out on the YouTube or the Twitch because daggone it, the new stream layout is here and it looks sexy. Joining me once again, we've got the world's #1 Psychonauts 2 fan. That's David.
You can do this.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's a nice-ass Celeste mug.
That's really cool.
That's good. We've got the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
Welcome to Around the Tim Allen, the show where we only discuss Tim Allen roles.
Everybody was dying to do it.
Fuck, we should have. I know we didn't know this prior, but if we made the point sound this week, Tim Allen noise.
That would have been really good.
We were starting with an episode by episode breakdown of Home Improvement.
Zach, you have the power.
Here's the thing.
Sound effect is configurable. I wrote that code.
Oh, okay.
You can swap out the sound file.
I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe for a later episode. The other voice you heard there was the prophet of Kermit, Chris.
Been a while. It's Thursday. You know what that means.
We surely do. And last but not least, Tim Allen.
Yeah, it's Tim Allen Day, obviously.
And last but not least, the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
We're getting maybe unions in the video game industry.
Maybe. That's more than we could say.
I don't
before.
know. They're only restructuring Raven Software because of that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, don't spoil the lead, all right?
All right, whatever.
Somebody's probably going to talk about that.
It won't be me.
Sorry about that one, David. I feel like almost half of the news this week you can't talk about. Yes, as said before, we talk through the week's news in gaming, but we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. And this week's trivia question, in the news, famously, incredibly high-paid actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is gonna be back in a video game movie. One of his previous video game movies being 2005's Doom. My question to you all is, what is its current rating on RottenTomatoes.com?
Thought it was going to be how long is the first-person shooter section? Because it's 11 minutes long.
Wow, is it?
I thought it was.
It's it's around there.
I'm going to go immediately with it's an 8.
Ooh, the low 8.
Wait, also, are you asking critic score or audience score?
Critics.
Rotten Tomatoes is out of 100, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I had to make sure.
I don't want to make fun of you for going to film school and not knowing that, Chris, but I feel like I should.
Rotten Tomatoes is a piece of garbage website. I use Metacritic like a sane human being.
Okay.
See,
I'm going to give it like a 33.
33.
I give it a 42. TigerBat 00484 just subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiger Bat.
so here's the thing. The Doom movie is a 0. Like, let's be honest here. It's a 0, but it does that bad movie thing where it goes so far in the bad direction that people actually think it's funny. So, like, that might swing it back.
Does feature the amazing line, "Today we kick ass," which is fucking awesome.
That is a good one, actually.
I'm going to go with 26.
26. The correct answer, an 18%.
Oh! God damn.
Which I believe does mean the correct order will be David, followed by Pridge, followed by Elise, followed by Chris.
I knew there was no way it was getting over a 20. It's an absolutely trash movie, and this is critic score.
I've never seen it, so...
Which means the "it's so bad it's good" thing won't come into play with the critic score.
Yeah. I will say I did read Roger Ebert's review of it, and it was pretty scathing, so...
I love it.
Let's talk about this week's topics, because, folks, now that this show is bi-weekly, there is never a drought in news. And, oh boy... some news happened last week. You might have heard about this. But Xbox has bought Activision for $68.7 billion.
That's worth more than
69
Nintendo.
billion.
Yeah.
True. True.
And so I've broken this up into several questions with several articles. 1, what does this mean for company culture at Activision? 2, what does this mean for Xbox? And 3, what does this mean for PlayStation? And hey, if there's other things you want to extrapolate from that, go for it. But that's kind of how I broke it up, just to, because no one person can talk about this for like a 2-minute segment. There's so much meat on this bone. Also relating to Activision, Raven Software has 34 workers trying to unionize. Talking about that and what Activision's response to this has been. Yakuza's creator has officially announced his new studio with Tencent. Game Pass is now at 25 million members, with 20 million players playing Halo and 18 million players playing Forza at release. TT Games, the maker of the Lego games, has reported huge issues of crunch for pretty much its entirety of existence. RuneScape is getting not 1, but 2 tabletop games this year. Wow, didn't think that would ever happen. Twitch is planning to roll out a new program allowing streamers to earn a set salary payout, which is very interesting. The Rock is going to star in yet another video game movie. What will that be? And last but not least, start upgrading your rigs, gamers. Crysis 4 has been announced. Does this mean anything in the year of our Lord 2022?
No, because the last 2 games fucking sucked.
David, what would you like to talk about for the first topic of the show?
I think I am going to steer very clear of a certain company that may or may not be my employer, and who I probably should not talk about these topics on a show. So I'm gonna steer clear of that.
Fair.
I would love to talk about them, but I will not. Instead, I'm gonna go 180. I'm gonna talk about the fucking Rock. All right. The Rock in movies.
Of all the articles I thought would get picked, that was one I thought somebody would skip over, let alone be the first topic picked of the show.
David, please tell us.
It's by far the most interesting.
Okay.
Tell us what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah.
All right, so The Rock, in like a tweet or a video or some shit, I don't know, I didn't pay attention to this part of the article, has teased that there is a new video game movie that's either coming out or going to be announced this year. He's bringing one of the biggest, this is a quote, "We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen, one that I've played for years." Now, immediately, everyone's like, Call of Duty, Fortnite. Because, like, listen, he's in Fortnite. He's this character called The Foundation. Also, real big stretch from The Rock. Good job, fucking Epic Games on that one. You're fools. That's not happening. And I guess I have to say I don't have any knowledge of whether it's Call of Duty or not. That's not even my department. Sorry. But it's neither of those, okay? People have also said Mortal Kombat, like a follow-up where he's Johnny Cage. I think that's a Mortal Kombat person,
that
right?
That would be interesting.
That's not it either.
But
okay?
I wouldn't want him to be
it.
Johnny Cage.
That's not it. Yeah, and some people are like, hey, it's going to be Gears of War. He's got the build for it. Okay, you know what?
That's
Fair.
true.
He is the one person that has the build for it. It's
and
true.
like Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Dave Bautista. Yeah. Well, he was in it, so...
Yeah, Dave Bautista's wanted a Gears of War movie for forever.
But listen. You can't make an entire cast of Gears characters when there's only 2 humans in existence that look like Gears characters, okay? Then you got some weird, like, CG plus real life. That's not happening. Folks, let me remind you of a franchise that The Rock is attached to, but won't make movies for anymore. And that is Fast and the Furious, right? So he hates Vin Diesel. There's a big spat there. They're not doing Fast and the Furious. What is the closest franchise to a Fast and a Furious movie?
Stuntman starring Vin Diesel.
God damn it, Chris.
God damn it, Chris.
Yes!
That was good, but
Yeah.
no. There is a game whose entire storyline, all the fun parts, at least of single player and also of multiplayer, that is a huge game that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has probably played before. That's Grand Theft Auto.
That's
one
not
of
what I thought that
the
was.
biggest games of all time.
Okay.
One that assuredly he has played. One that is already basically a movie. They just have to shorten that script. Bam. There you go. Big old movie. I think it's fucking Grand Theft Auto. GTA 5, second best-selling game of all time, behind only Minecraft.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, The Rock, he's kind of got that Minecraft build too. Chiseled.
He's built like a rectangle.
There's rocks in that game.
He's chiseled, built like a rock. But if I had to guess, I think this is a GTA movie. Series never been bigger.
Interesting.
And listen, they're not making 6 apparently, so why not make a movie? You know?
That's okay.
Why not make a movie? We got different people working on it.
We're releasing GTA 5 again, now in theaters with The Rock in it.
God damn it.
I mean, listen, it could happen.
Honestly, no, going into this topic, I was pretty convinced that they're going to actually finally do the Fortnite movie because they're making a big deal about him and the Foundation or whatever. But I don't know. That's a good theory. I hadn't thought about that.
No, see, what you guys don't realize, remember when we got that trailer of Arc 2 with Vin Diesel?
I did think about that.
Obviously, The Rock's going to star in the Arc 2 movie. Vin Diesel
with
in the
Vin
game.
Diesel. Yeah.
It's the ultimate one-up.
So Vin Diesel won't be in the movie about the game, but he will be in the game.
How fucked up would that be if like a production studio bought the rights to an Arc movie and then went to fucking The Rock instead of Vin Diesel?
God damn.
That's such a big dick energy move.
That would be insane. That would be insane.
I think Vin Diesel would commit a murder.
But it would be very cool.
It'd be attempted murder. Like I think The Rock can just crush Vin Diesel at this point. Like,
listen, that is a fantastic debate. And I would love to hear who we would think would win.
Oh no, it's The Rock. It's The Rock 10 times out of 10.
Fuck these who could beat Goku conversations. It's all about who can beat up The Rock.
Who can beat The Rock?
And it's not Vin Diesel.
You're building up to this like, what's the Fast and the Furious in video games? And you went with GTA when Need for Speed exists.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
That was
it's
the
not a
last
Need for
decent
Speed
Need for Speed
movie.
game.
Okay, that's a good counterpoint.
Like 2 years ago. And
No, it
FSC
wasn't.
came out like 2020.
Yeah,
But,
it came and went.
Elise, what's a big franchise that a bunch of people swear they care about, but you can't actually prove it? Grand Theft Auto. What's a big film franchise that's the exact same thing?
You can
Fast and
prove it,
Furious.
Chris. It sold 125 million
Yeah,
copies.
there are sales.
I care about Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Elise, you're an
I care about
outlier.
Fast
You're an
and
outlier.
Furious.
Here's the thing, David. Both these things make bajillions of dollars, and I have no concept as to how or why.
People are
People
stupid.
pay for them. Yeah,
Except
what-
Elise. I'm not not roping Elise into that
Elise
group.
just likes bad things like Kingdom Hearts.
True.
Listen. Let's move on
Best
from
game
this
of all time,
topic.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, right. Save Data Team's best game of all time.
Fair game.
Halucha gave Chris a point for his interjection. I can't remember what you said that was funny, but I also gave you a point for it. So there we go. You got two.
Don't remember all of them either.
Jason and Aaliyah also gave a point to David, saying, "I'm honestly surprised there hasn't been a GTA movie yet." Makes sense. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You said it. I was like, oh shit, yeah, damn. But going on from that, Pridge, it's your turn to talk about your first topic of the show. What would you like to start on?
All right, well, I guess I'll get us started on this whole Acto Blizzard bullshit.
The Acto Blizzard.
Yeah, the Acto Blizzard. All right, so yeah, biggest news: Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to talk about particularly, I guess, you know what, I'll just start from the top. What does this mean? How does this impact the giant ongoing culture scandal at Activision?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you how it affects it. It unfortunately probably doesn't. I think one of the negative sides of this is that I feel like Microsoft made this move because this is probably the best time to buy Activision Blizzard when they're going through a shit show like this. It's probably like, and I don't really know what the normal price for buying a company this big is, but I feel like it's as low as it's going to be with all this crap going on. And obviously there's been some talk and conflicting messages about what's happening to Bobby Kotick. From the looks of it, it looks like he's at least staying on until the acquisition is complete. And then he could potentially, and then there's some talk that he will leave afterwards, probably with some sort of giant buyout, but at least he would be out of there. But again, I think the problem is that what's going on at Blizzard is so much bigger than just Bobby Kotick that I don't think him leaving even after this is really going to do much. I think whatever culture stuff is happening, whatever culture change is in progress or may happen at Blizzard is not honestly going to be hugely affected by this. One, because once again, this acquisition probably won't complete for like another year. But also, I just don't think like Microsoft is suddenly going to throw itself into the middle of this and start trying to police it. I think they're just gonna take their new game studio, get what games they want out of it, and I don't know, kind of just deal with it.
I somewhat agree with you. I think if reports like if a year after the acquisition goes through, another like big report like this comes out, Xbox is gonna have to fucking like, they're like, yo, we're getting bad press because of your bullshit. Now we're gonna fuck shit up. But because this is happening a year from now, I think, a year from now, a lot of stuff is going to blow over. And then, yes, of course, it's going to be the good news that, hey, probably Bobby Kotick is leaving at the end of that transaction. And that's going to look like a win from the outside. And so we can be like, okay, cool. Everybody feels good about stuff. But yeah, if something bad comes out after that, then it's like everybody's going to be pitchforks at Xbox saying, what the fuck?
Yeah, I do agree. That is a good point there, that if something new happens after the acquisition comes through, then yeah, because then it's going to look like it's
you did nothing.
It's going to look like more Microsoft's fault. So that is a good point. But yeah, I think one of the big things you said, I think unfortunately, because we kind of have short memories with these sort of things.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like by the time that happens, it's unfortunately not going to be in the cultural zeitgeist as much. And a lot of things are just going to progress, whether for better or for worse, as they would whether or not this acquisition happened.
Yeah. It's a weird situation, and yeah, I do want to hope for the best. Like, honestly, I mean, of course, everybody does.
Right?
We'll see, but yeah, it's one thing to get rid of Bobby Kotick, which again, I think most people and most indications from what we've heard is that. Yeah, he's going to stay on until the acquisition goes through, and then once it goes through, it's almost certain that he's going to be removed or stepped down or whatever.
Right.
But he's not the only person that is responsible for this. Of course, he's at the top.
Right. I mean, yeah, obviously he was at the top.
There have been a lot of departures. There's been a lot of departures since this has happened, but it's a whole lot of, it's a lot of rotten trees in this forest. You got to cut them all down.
And again, it's not that I'm saying nothing's going to happen at Microsoft Blizzard. I just don't think this is going to be an impetus for any greater or lesser change. I think what's going to happen is going to happen regardless of this acquisition.
Agreed.
And also, like you said, like acquisitions take a long time, like to get everything through. So, like, honestly, the best thing for Microsoft
when I was reading some articles
for a while.
Yeah, when I was reading articles, I think someone said that this could take up to and over a year to get all the paperwork and fine print ironed out.
Yeah,
the final expected time period was end of June of next year. So
Jesus
Christ.
Could
Yeah,
be up to 18 months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We'll have several new games by then.
Because it's not just like ironing out all the details and everything between the two parties. It's also dealing with fucking antitrust laws, which
that
we don't know
that entire time is government approval. They don't need that long to figure it out between the two companies.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they got to figure out all those new emails.
Catching up with the chat, Bandicoot gave a point to Pritz saying, I feel like you're right on track about this. Tigerbat gave a point saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure things won't change much. I do believe that there will, but it will be very hard to build a good image back to Activision Blizzard. Oops, let me give that to David. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's
because their image has been pretty irreparably damaged in the last year or so. So
Yeah.
not even year. We'll see. And Tiger Bat also gifted another sub to Will from Subpixel. Hate that guy, but thank you, Tiger Bat. Up next in the order is Elise. What would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
Well, in the same vein, but actually moving away from the specific Microsoft acquisition,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about what I kind of alluded to in the opening, which is workers at Raven Software have formed a union.
Absolutely.
Raven Software being a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard. I forget exactly what they've made before, but for a couple of years they've basically been rolled into the Call of Duty machine, like most studios at Activision, at the Activision side of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So the story goes for a while. If you've been following us for a year almost, or 7 months or whatever, you might have heard most of the story. But basically, Activision, around the same time as the whole lawsuit and everything in California came out, Activision Blizzard fired a bunch of the QA workers at Raven Software.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been a whole thing, but it might have been a couple months after, actually. But the entirety of Raven Software basically went on strike without a union, which is a really risky thing to do, a really brave thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
In solidarity with these QA workers to get them back. My understanding of the story is that they were still on strike until about a week ago when they announced this union. So it's 34 quality assurance testers who have organized as the Game Workers Alliance Union with I think it's the Communication Workers of America, Grand Union. Communication Workers of America, the largest union is in the media industry. The first thing they did was they came off strike as a sign of good faith to say we are interested in working with the company. We're waiting for voluntary recognition. If you don't give us voluntary recognition by this Tuesday, I think it was at 5 p.m. this Tuesday, we will go to the Labor Relations Board and do all the legal shit.
Mm-hmm.
Activision was basically yeah, we really believe that we want a direct relationship with our employees, and we really respect the law that people can join unions. And they did not recognize the union.
Uh-huh.
So the last news I've heard is that they have gone to the Labor Relations Board to go through all the legal bullshit. As far as I can tell from any of the news that's coming out, there hasn't been a lot of union busting effort put into this. I could just be out of the loop. It could just be not in the news. We don't know. But also, I think these workers have been through a lot, and I think they, even through the union busting, can make it through. And Activision is going to be very hesitant to just fire them and deal with all the fucking legal consequences that come with just flat out firing people who are unionizing, which is a lot of legal consequences. That they probably can't get away with. The only thing I think they could ever do to stop this union is fire them all and deal with the fines. And I don't know the exact law, but I'm sure it comes with some jail time and a fuckload of money that they can't afford right now.
I will say one of the things they have done.
I'm actually really optimistic.
One of the things they did this week, I think literally since after this article was posted, they ended up splitting up the 34 workers amongst 200 other workers at the company, and dividing them into different groups.
Rolled in the QA into the company, which
that's
is
a better way of working it.
Something that does happen
Exactly.
And also, and a lot of QA workers like do have like spoken out and said like this is actually usually a good thing, but this is also obviously in this specific circumstance a like attempt at dissuading the union. I don't think it's going to work. I'm optimistic about this, and this is the first union in the AAA video games industry. And if this all goes through, like this is the seed that can grow into a much larger thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If this does end up happening and they're able to get, I think it's like they have to get 60% of the workers there to sign that they want to join a union for it to officially go through. Like that's insane. And especially for it to happen at Activision is I mean, it would be the start of a big transition, I think, or a wave of.
And especially with the Microsoft acquisition, like unions, they are able to like grow throughout an industry, but it's much easier to grow like within a company.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with 34 workers at Raven Software, and then, this is speculation and projecting, but then you go for like all of Raven Software and then all of Activision, and then Activision Blizzard, and like you can roll that out. I don't know how far it'll go because Microsoft is definitely going to try to kill this, like, or at least stop it in its tracks. Because fuck Microsoft, and they're one of the biggest companies in the world. They don't want a union because unions hurt profits.
Yeah. The chat agrees with you. Halucha gives a point to Elise for always supporting unionization. Jayton Aaliyah gives a point saying, hope unionization becomes more of an established thing by the time I get my degree and jump into the industry. Oh boy, hope so too, dog. And Tiger Matt gives a point to Elise saying, I would agree with the union aftermath if it happens. Yeah. Fingers crossed on that. Also, shout out to Tiger Matt who gifted 1,000 bits for making fun of me for dunking on Will. So
also
to be clear, we do like Will. He's a friend of the channel.
Another sub,
but
it went to that bastard Streamlabs.
It did go to Streamlabs. Another person who also...
Why can Streamlabs accept why are they
makes
allowed
no
to get them?
I have no idea. It's a bot.
Does that just go into Streamlabs' like fucking pocket?
I have no idea.
There are thousands of streamers
because it goes to us.
Well, no,
it goes to us and
of course,
and Jeff Bezos, but.
Just means that
damn you, Jeff.
Someone in chat doesn't get the.
Which is annoying.
Seems like a really big oversight.
Yeah, Chris, what would you like to talk about for your first topic of the show?
Let's just round it out with one more thing about Activision Blizzard.
Okay.
Move on.
Okay. Which angle are you approaching this?
Let's talk about what it means for those good boys in Sony land. I'm gonna. So I saw right when the merger was announced, I saw a meme on Twitter that was. It might have actually. Will, was this from GameSpot or was this from some other news outlet? And it was Thanos as like Sony. And it was the fucking all the Avengers portals opening at the end of Endgame, and it was all the stupid like things that Microsoft just acquired coming out of the portals, and it was like COD, sure, huge multi-billion dollar franchise. Overwatch, I'll give it to you because maybe the game has potential under new management. I think the game is a dead train wreck.
No.
WoW, it makes money. I don't think the game's in a good state, but damn, it makes money. But then it was shit like Toys for Bob and Spyro and Sky.
Toys for Bob made Crash 4. Shut the fuck up.
I was gonna say Bandicoot Commando is about to punch you in the face.
I'll even give you Crash, but I won't give you Spyro. I won't give you Skylanders.
I accept that.
I won't give you fucking Prototype and Heroes of the Storm and Gun. Guitar Hero.
The strongest hack in Smash Bros?
Yeah. God. People are like acting like because you get a lot of console fanboys on Twitter. You get a lot of like people that choose what multi-billion-dollar company their ride or die with for some inexplicable reason. And people are like, this is a death knell for Sony, and like this is such a big deal. Microsoft just changed the game. If I'm Sony, first of all, I don't give a fucking shit because of the bajillions of dollars I make a year. Video games are only a small portion of it comparative to the fact that I make more TVs and more speakers than anyone else in the fucking world and cameras. So who gives a shit? But I'm just seeing, okay, Microsoft just spent $70 billion fucking dollars on Activision Blizzard, which is once again more than the value of Nintendo. That price tag is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that means for a while? Microsoft can't buy fucking anything because they now have to justify spending $70 billion on Activision Blizzard. So if I'm Sony, I'm like, who fucking cares? The biggest thing I'm looking to buy is Squeen, which like is going to cost them, I don't know, a couple billion, but it's not going to cost them anywhere near this amount of money. And then they can just like do whatever they want. I don't think this is changing anything for Sony. I think this is fucking business as usual for Sony. That's really it. I just wanted to like people act like this is a big fucking deal for Sony. I really don't think it is. I don't think they fucking care.
I was looking at the comparative developers that both companies have, and it's not like Sony doesn't own a shit ton of big developers and publishers and shit like this.
Yeah.
Sure, the potential of losing some games down the road is there, but
it's not like Sony is like, oh no, we have to buy EA now. Like,
right.
No,
it doesn't matter.
Sony's not going to be scared by this in any way, shape, or form.
I will say their stock took a fucking dumpster dive for it though.
That was I mean, like, it's regulated back now. Like, that was ridiculous.
It's not regulated back.
It's going back. It's still down, but it's gone back up since then, right? I'm not crazy.
Not much.
I would like to add one correction.
I've been checking to make sure I buy that stock when it's at its lowest point. Because they're about to release Horizon next month. They're gonna make money. Like, come on. Anyways.
Yeah, I would like to add one correction. 25% of Sony's revenue is from their gaming service. It's their largest segment.
Yes.
It's their largest segment?
Oh, yeah.
It's their largest segment.
It's bigger than manufacturing?
Yes.
That's
yes.
crazy.
So, game and network services is 25%. Electronic products and solutions is 18%.
Wait, does network services count like their like API and shit and like their servers? 'Cause that's crazy.
Potentially, but I don't know what Sony API they have.
So you know how we have like AWS?
Yeah.
Sony has an equivalent of that isn't available in America.
Wait, they do?
Yeah.
Man, no one fucking uses that. Okay.
Hey, the Japanese do.
Not a lot of it.
I don't know.
And then they've got like financial services, which is probably just investing, is like 15% of their money.
Hey, man.
And then music, pictures, and imaging are all between like 7 and 10%.
It's the thing. The one thing that because we didn't. Well, okay, I'll wait because we haven't talked about it yet, and maybe somebody wants to talk about what this means for Xbox. But no, we did talk about that, didn't we?
I mean, no one talked about that specifically.
Well,
we'll wait. Now we'll do it like because like I mean like I'm not going to talk about Activision in the second half.
Basically, my one thing is like at the end of the day, this last year, Call of Duty was the #1 and #2 best-selling game of the entire year. If Xbox does decide to not put that on PlayStation consoles moving forward, once everything goes through, like 3 years from now. That's a big thing, and not that I think if I was Sony, I would at this point start getting one of my studios to start making a first-person shooter because they don't have that really.
Killzone's back, baby.
No, that's definitely not happening. But
also, like I mean, like, I know that it'll make more of a drive to buy Xboxes, but if they say, hey, in 3 years, COD's off of PS5, like. That is going to hurt COD sales. A lot of people own PlayStations. A lot of people buy them specifically because of, like, you buy your PlayStation and your FIFA. That's a thing you've done since fucking the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I think, like, taking them off of that would be a way bigger hit to the sales of COD than you might expect.
Yeah, and then there's also people like Jeff Grubb who are speculating, can Xbox use this as like a bargaining chip to finally get some form of Game Pass on PlayStation, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean that'd probably be a bigger win for Microsoft than anything.
Oh yeah, for sure. Catching up with the chat, Tigerbat gifted a point to Chris, saying, Chris, I would agree the IPs that some of what Activision Blizzard, but some are squeezed out already, so it'll be hard to keep them interesting, and others are not well known, especially when you compete with other companies and the rise of indie devs. Yes.
I think that the Activision half of the Blizzard buying is like further franchises is way more valuable, especially in like the immediate.
Yeah. Agreed. We'll see how this turns out in a couple of years, probably, maybe 4.
God, I hope Sony doesn't buy Squeenix.
I mean, almost all their games are on the like. Well,
I think writing's on the wall with that one. I think it's just an eventual.
I mean, they used to. They used
You're
to
not
own. They used to have like 15% of Square Enix's stocks.
Yeah. Anyways, also Tigerbat gifted a sub to Triton on Titan. Thank you, Tigerbat. Absolutely coming through this stream. Appreciate it. Coming into round 2, David, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
Ah, man.
What can you still talk about?
There is plenty of stuff to talk about. I'm trying to pick between 2. You know what? Let's talk about TT Games making Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure many of you out there have played one of the Lego games, whether it's Lego Star Wars, Lego DC stuff that they've been doing recently. Lego games are great. They're fantastic for kids. They're fantastic for families. They're fantastic for couples. Fantastic games. However, with the most recent game is their most ambitious. So they're doing the full Skywalker saga from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to the end of 9. Unfortunately, they included 7, 8, 9. I mean, but
they had 14, 1, 2, and 3.
No, those are funny at least. But
no, because they're gonna do fun shit with like the hatred of sand scene and stuff like that.
Oh, they can have an absolute ball with 1, 2, and 3 with the way they write these games. But like, they have done some really ambitious stuff. If you've seen like the most recent gameplay trailer, like for a Lego game, like this thing is ambitious.
Really good.
Like it looks good. I'm utterly shocked at how good it looks. Like it was always just like, do the games look good? Not really, but they're fun anyway. Like they're just lighthearted fun. This one looks like lighthearted fun, but also actually good gameplay. But unfortunately, the cost of this to the developers has been like really high, and it sounds like the cost has been high for a long time. So I'm shocked this hasn't come out until this year with all of the news that's been going on for the past couple years in the game industry. But TT Games has been crunching for a long time on this game especially, and they, in their past games, instead of having like an actual production schedule, they had scheduled crunch even when production was starting on a game, which is, hey folks, don't fucking do that, okay? You can't schedule that shit. If you're scheduling that into your development cycle, hey, guess what? A, you're an asshole, and B, don't. You're like scheduling overtime into you getting the game done, which means if anything goes wrong, there's even more overtime. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Stop.
If you schedule overtime and that's not enough, then it just becomes super overtime.
Yeah. And it's just like it's not a good way to make games. It's not a good way to work. It is worker abuse. It's absolutely insane. And that is the tip of the iceberg at TT Games. They have had issues where bosses were literally following people to their cars to convince them to come back into the office. Absolutely like they were leaving at 5 after an 8 or 9 hour day. They're like, where are you going? Like that shit is unacceptable, and not even just in this day and age. Like in the 15 years that they've been doing this shit on and off, like it's been unacceptable that whole time. If that is what is needed to create these Lego games, spoilers, it's not. They shouldn't exist. Like I don't care how fun they are. Like if that's what these people think is required to make these games and make them profitable, maybe either tone down your expectations or don't make them. Because this is absolutely nuts. I hope these people that are being abused at TT Games get their pay and get out at this point. Like I hope they go off and they make their own studio where they make some other lighthearted fun games that people can enjoy, and that maybe they'll get to work with cool IPs, or they can make their own and really stretch their creative muscles, which it looks like they're doing with this game anyway. So I hope that's what happens, because this is insane. I hope maybe they get to unionize. I'm kind of a little surprised they're not, because I think they're UK based and they have a little bit different labor laws than the US. So I'm a little disappointed in that. But overall, stop this.
Yeah,
just stop this, folks.
I mean, it's been a while since we've had like a really bad crunch story, but like it.
But they're always there.
Yeah, they're always there, and like every time you read through like the specific anecdotes that are listed in an article, it's like, wow, this is bad.
It's so fucked up,
and it's just it's even worse on this one because like if you look at the frickin' screenshots of all of their games, it's like it's Legos, it's cute, it's funny, haha, and it's like but damn. The blood that went into this game, into these Legos.
It's all covering up like a PNG of someone just in eternal suffering. Like, stop.
Who owns TT Games / Giant Interactive?
I believe Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah, it is Warner.
Yeah, that makes sense for all the IP.
Yeah, it's a Warner game. It shouldn't go without saying that like crunch is not just like worker abuse and horrible to work in. It's also completely ineffective and does not make your games better.
It
or
doesn't make
have
better
more scope.
games.
Like workers do more and better work if they're able to work less and like have fulfilling lives. Because being exhausted makes you do bad work.
All the crunch at CD Projekt Red absolutely made Cyberpunk a great game. You know, that thing that happened.
Yeah.
It is really wild to me. I think this is gonna eventually change. We still got a long road, but like that all of these companies, all these bosses can look at other studios in the news and look down at what they're doing and be like, no, it'll work for us. Like,
right.
What is wrong with you?
We have the secret that makes us different.
we got the sauce. Yeah. No, you don't.
Exactly.
No, you got mayonnaise, sauce. Man. You don't got the sauce.
You got mayonnaise. Shit, slap that on a shirt. You don't got the sauce. You got mayonnaise.
It's a surprisingly effective burn.
I mean, hey, all these bosses are kind of pretty white too, so it's pretty appropriate.
Halucha gives a point to Elise for speaking facts, and facts are facts, Canada. And Tigerbat gives a point. All the gifted subs should be considered as donations to Pridge. # pizza for Pridge. And they've also given 2 more subs. Thank you so much, Tigerbat.
Thank you, Tigerbat.
Pridge is eating tonight.
Zach's eating next week.
Never. Moving on, Pridge. Coming hot off of his pizza, what would you like to talk about? I almost said, what would you like to eat? Yeah.
We're running out of topics I really give a shit about. But I will talk about a thing very near and dear to this, save data team's hearts. And that's, making money off Twitch.
Phew. That was really
Yeah, Chris, I'm going to talk about RuneScape, sure.
Fuck!
So, Twitch recently unveiled plans for a new ads incentive program as a way to essentially create a reliable, consistent ad revenue for streamers. Rather than sort of just, how it can be a little, again, Zach, you'd be able to attest a bit more to exactly how it works, but...
some months are great.
Yeah, it can be inconsistent. The more of the story is, it can be inconsistent. So what this new program aims to do is that streamers will need to stream a certain amount of hours while running ads. No information on that. Not really knowing more information on what the numbers will look like on that, how many hours to what sort of revenue. But basically, if you stream a certain amount of hours of ads, you get a flat payout, rather than the much more inconsistent way it works now. So again, obviously, with a flat payout, their goal is to be a more predictable monthly income. So, on one hand, this could be a cool idea, because, again, as Zach said, it could be really good some months, really bad some months. For people who make their sole income on gaming, Twitch ad revenue makes up a significant part of that. It's not good to not know what your monthly payment's going to be. That's not helpful. The biggest issue is obviously, until we know the numbers, it's tough to say whether this is going to be some ridiculous amount of ads that, viewers are going to hate, and honestly, the people doing it are going to hate for a shitty payout. So this will be offered to all affiliates and partners, from what it looks like. So again, I'm curious to see whether it's a good idea. I'm always in for ways to improve how streamers can make revenue, because again, it is a oftentimes confusing and difficult thing to figure out. So anything that attempts to offer some more consistency is a good idea, but we will see whether this actually is a good form or if this is another one of Twitch's really shitty, not well thought out ideas, which is a thing they have a history of doing.
I was gonna say, I guess like a month or two ago, they did send out emails that were like, "Hey, if you agree to change all of your ad times to 2 minutes, we'll double the pay that you get from that." And I was like, "Hey, that's cool, but like, we're not that big, so like, the amount of people that get ads, like, it's not so many, and also a 2-minute ad."
That sucks.
2 minutes is long.
I would stop watching the stream. Like, that's so long.
Trying to reinvent cable.
Yeah.
It didn't work the first time. Like, this is they're not even joking. This conversation we have at work all the fucking time. Streaming platforms just keep trying to make cable again.
Yeah.
You exist because cable sucks. Stop trying to do the thing that you killed.
Didn't Peacock lose like 1.5 billion or something?
No, it lost 1.5 billion more this year than it did last year.
Oh my Christ.
Peacock is a flaming disaster.
Catching up with the chat, Tiger Matt gifted a point to Pridge. Twitch sucks, but I'm hoping that you get an ad that you do sponsor jokes. That would be Pridge. Pridge sponsored pizza ad. Hi, I'm Pridge. Welcome to Pizza Hut. I don't know.
They keep hello everyone. Eat pizzas on this goddamn Twitch channel.
Hello everyone. I'm David. Welcome to Mickey Rooney's Potato Fantasy.
God damn it.
Give him a point.
Going on, because
we got baked potatoes, we got potato hash browns, we got mashed potatoes, we got smashed potatoes, we got all the potatoes. You want some cheese in your potatoes, gravy on your potatoes? We got all those toppings for your potatoes here at Mickey Rooney's Potato Fantasy.
that was actually really good. I'll give you a point for that.
When people start paying us to do actual ads in the middle of things, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Oh, it's gonna be the best. We're gonna be so good at it.
I'll record him. I don't give a shit. It'll be great.
He'll be awesome.
Shit. Tiger Bat gave another point to Pridge's Pizza, and Sibylla gifted a point for David's super long pizza ad. Yeah.
So did Halucha.
Potato.
Oh,
excuse me.
Sorry. Elise, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
I'm gonna talk about RuneScape.
No,
I'm not.
Oh, damn! That was gonna be such a power move. I saw the fear in Chris's eyes.
I would have walked off and made dinner right the fuck now. I would have pulled the webcam into the kitchen. I'd fucking be making dumplings right now, you motherfuckers. Don't think I won't.
What would you like to talk about, Elise? Actually,
I'm actually going to talk about the other Chris topic here, which is the new Yakuza Tencent studio.
Yeah, took it away.
Netease. So we've learned a couple months ago that the creative director of Yakuza, Toshihiro Nagoshi, was basically got bought out by Tencent to start his own internal company there. I am correct that NetEase is a subsidiary of Tencent, right? I'm not fucking this up.
Correct.
I feel like everything's a subsidiary of Tencent at this point.
Wait, I don't think it's a subsidiary of Tencent.
Tencent might own a controlling interest of it.
I don't believe that either of those is true. They're not a subsidiary, at least.
Aren't they? Yeah, okay. Are they like the two biggest? Whatever.
Yeah, they're like one of the big 2 or 3 internet companies there. So no, Tencent does not own NetEase.
Okay, so I was wrong there. Yakuza is the Yakuza creator has gone to NetEase and we're getting the news now that we have the new studio name and some of the head studio people there that have come over with him. So it's going to be Negoshi Studio, named after himself. We've got Kojima Games and Kojima Productions, and we've got Negoshi Studio. And 8 other staff members who have all worked with Negoshi, at Square Enix, on the Yakuza, Panzer Dragoon, Jet Set Radio, lots of high-profile people, programmers, designers, who are there. And this is a really interesting thing to me because this is a very much culturally Japanese game studio or game designer, and a bunch of people that worked on these games like Yakuza and Jet Set Radio and shit, being pushed into or brought into a Chinese company, and they kind of are going to have to create their own little culture there. And there's this little quote: "We're Japanese and we're a Japanese studio, so naturally the market we understand most is Japan." What this means to me is that it's not just that NetEase is they're bringing in some money. They think, the Yakuza team is going to make them good money. It's also that they're trying to expand into the Japanese cultural market. And I don't want to say good luck to NetEase because fuck NetEase. They're a huge company they're a huge fuck any big company, but in this specific circumstance, fuck them because But I really hope this team is able to these specific people are able to succeed in their area there, because I want to see more good stuff from this team.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Negoshi knows his stuff and has made a lot of great games that a lot of people worldwide enjoy. Not just in Japan. We
talk about him being a nut job, but the guy's very good at what he does.
Yeah. So, and I think one of the articles from last week that we didn't talk about is games regulation in China becoming much more strict and harsh. So companies like NetEase and Tencent have to branch out into a broader worldwide market.
Chinese government has not approved a new video game, console, phone, or otherwise in about 9 months.
Yeah.
And they have to approve them for them to be sold in the region. So
Also, Zach, you absolute bastard. You wrote Tencent in the list of things for us, but it is NetEase that owns
that's where I got.
It is my fault.
I could have talked about this, you fucking bastard.
That's
my
bad.
Say anything because it was Tencent.
That's my bad. Whoops.
That's why I was I looked it up and I couldn't find anything, but I was just gonna trust that NetEase was I just couldn't.
I was wondering where you got that from.
No, that's on me. I apologize for that. But I hope that they're able to get the funding to make what they want to make and make it well, and hopefully it turns out great. Sorry for Sega for losing probably one of their best game developers, but
10 of them.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people left with them.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
It was all the people that led the Yakuza team for the last 8 years, except for one guy.
Well, hey, guess what? Yeah. He's the captain now.
He is. He's directing the Yakuza game and the new Judgment game.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited to see what this game ends up being whenever it gets released. But currently, Chris, it's the final topic of the show. It's your turn.
You know what time it is, baby?
Yeah, I do.
It's time to fucking talk about Runescape.
I hate this.
In the year of our Lord 2022, it's never been a more valuable property. That's a true thing. So the internet decided, not the internet, companies, people with real human dollars decided, it would be a great idea. Let's make not one, but 2 RuneScape RPG or board games for the year of 2022. This sounds wild. It actually isn't. It, in fact, has quite a bit of run up and makes quite a bit of sense, which is kind of the boring thing. I know we like stupid bullshit here, but this actually is just going to be something oh yeah, that makes sense. The main thing here is RuneScape is getting a board game and a TTRPG. But the TTRPG will be out buyable this year. Like you can go to a fucking D&D bookstore, pick up the fucking book, go home and make your rules and go. And the other one is going to be a Kickstarter style, very similar to the Horizon Zero Dawn and Dark Souls board games. It's like Kickstarter for the board game, you get the board game, you get all the expansions. I'd say very similar because it's the exact same thing. This is by Steamforged, who did Dark Souls and the Horizon Zero Dawn one. I have played the Dark Souls one, hated it. People like that one, blows my mind. People also like the Horizon Zero Dawn one, haven't played it, so don't know if it's any good. But I don't have a ton of confidence in it. However, I do think that in general, like RuneScape kind of actually makes a lot of sense for a board game or a tabletop game. Either way, it like if you like, I don't want to get technical or stupid here, but like RuneScape exists on a grid. Like the whole world is divided into tiles. You move from tile to tile to do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like that translates really well and really easily to a board game where usually you have a set number of moves, typically decided by some sort of device that you roll, and it gives you some sort of number. I know, crazy concept here.
God damn it.
But like I'm actually very excited for this, mostly for the TTRPG thing, because people. So there was a thing a while ago where people were trying to get kickstarted a TTRPG rulebook that would work with D&D 5e, and Wizards was like, don't do that. But Dracola just rated with Party 1. Thank you.
Dracola, thank you.
But it appears that they have worked it out via Jagex, saying, "Hey, Wizard, would you like some money, perhaps, for this thing?"
Mm-hmm.
And Wizards of the Coast loves money, so they said, "Abso-fucking-lutely." And I actually think, like, I'm kind of excited for that. I think it'll work really well because, like, the way that the skills work in RuneScape would translate very well to how, like, skills and proficiencies work in modern D&D, where like you can have a thing mastered or preferably proficient or something like that. I think that's actually a really cool system. And despite the fact that I know everyone here hates me when I talk about RuneScape, the game is satisfying, and it has, like, most people complain about the graphics and the grindy nature of it. You don't have to worry about either of those in a fucking board game, assholes. So your excuses is running thin. Also, this will probably be written by the old school team who, like, despite memery, like, those guys are putting in fucking work and making a game engine from 2007 still work. So fuck y'all. RuneScape 2022, the year of RuneScape. Let's get it in there.
I don't think about that.
I don't know if you're getting the same sort of support on that one.
Yeah, but
there was no support for Kermit for Goofy at first.
That's true. Halucha does support you somewhat, giving you a point, saying "Prophet of RuneScape." That might be your new name moving forward because the year of Kermit is over. Summer of Kermit's over.
I have a question about this, Chris.
I want to put that out there. We're bringing Summer of Kermit back when it comes to summer, motherfucker. That's a yearly thing.
Okay,
now.
it's a yearly thing.
You think I'm not doing that again?
Okay, yeah. You've got so much merch now.
I do. I own 4 pieces of Kermit the Frog merch.
But folks, that's going to do it for this week's show, which does mean Chris, Pridge, and Elise, it's time to go home and become family, folks, because this week's winner is David.
The potatoes brought me over the edge, all right?
Yeah. David, are you ready to have your minute to win it?
Sure.
All right, then please take it away.
First of all, everyone, please go visit Mickey Rooney's Potato Fantasy. You need to go there, okay? It's a great restaurant, totally exists, not fake at all. Second of all, the other thing you should visit is twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam. Tomorrow, Zach and who else is on that show, Zach? I'm just making this a plug because I don't have anything to actually talk about. Pokemon tomorrow.
Oh, it's the normal Pokemon crew. It's me, Jason, and
it's me.
Okay, awesome.
Chris.
So please join Zach, Jason, and Chris for Pokemon Arceus, however you say that, Legends. I said that backwards.
Legends
Whatever,
Arceus,
it doesn't matter. For some first look at that game, and then Saturday, Community Day. We're gonna play some fun games, so please come join us Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Probably run until about 7 p.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. It'll be a fun time. Please join us. Come play some games with us and hang out. And a month from now, with our next Community Day, it will be very interesting. So please stay tuned for that. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna have some probably Jeopardy shows. It'll be a fun time.
Oh yeah. as David said, yeah, please be excited for this weekend, and then next month, we're about to blow your GD minds with some cool things we got planned. So be excited for that. Other things to check out today, we just uploaded a Pokemon video on the YouTube that is an edited VOD from our last week's Pokemon Showdown stream, in which we built a team with a Wormadam and actually won. First time ever in the world. It's amazing, folks. Believe it or not, you have to see it to believe it. And other than that, I think most of the normal stuff, we do Ace Attorney, we do Sonic 06. Go check that out. I know, it's wild.
The last episode of Sonic 06. Primo.
That was very good. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Absolutely great.
My chest was in pain. Folks, that's going to be it for this week's stream.
What are you doing?
I know. I just posted 5.
Oh, he posted the local chat. It's fine.
Oh, thank you,
That's
Haya.
linked to local chat.
Oh, Jason's on it.
Yep, Jason is on it. Go support Jason, and we'll be back tomorrow with some more Pokemon. But until then, this has been Around the Monitor.
A ding.